on, guys, and welcome to a not so beautiful day in East Tennessee. Look at this, it's April. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm smoking as much as old Smokey back there. But today we've got some work that needs to be done. We're getting new tires for the truck. This episode is actually going to take place over several days as I do some little things to the truck. But first things first, let me show you these tires so maybe you can see a little bit closer. They are much more dry rotted and cracked than I realized. If you look in between the tread, let me show you over here. There we go, you can see this one a little bit more. And you know, I just said I'm getting tired of these super bumpy rides because it's just every time you're going down the road. And I've been driving the truck for the last week or two, just on and off. And we're gonna address some of the issues that I've come across. So we're getting the new tires today. My windshield wipers don't work. And also my heat blows air, but it's not warm. So I kind of have to treat this thing like a motorcycle. When it's raining, I can't drive it. When it's too cold, I can't drive it. And I don't want my truck to be a motorcycle. I want it to be a truck. So this is gonna take place, like I said, over several days. We're gonna try to fix some of those issues. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. Might need some of you guys' help in the comment section. Let's get started. So we just got some new rubber put on the truck, and I figured why not, while we're out in town, we're gonna run it through the automatic car wash. Honestly, I bet these people are gonna laugh at me because it's covered. You guys know what it looks like. Old farm truck covered in rust. I don't know if it's gonna look any different by the time we get through this thing, but why not? Let's take it through and get a bath. So now what we do is, since we have a truck, we go to Tractor Supply and then we check it out. All right, as promised, we're at Tractor Supply getting some supplies for, not tractor, anyways. Here it is. Actually, this is kind of in the shade. We'll take it around and show you, but look at this rubber, man. Oh, look at it. You know, I had to make my grandpa and my dad proud and do the white walls out, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of that. Usually I turn them in. I'm just going to admit it. I'm just going to say it. Normally I turn them in, but my grandpa and my dad loved doing the white walls out. Man, the guy at the car wash was kind of smirking a little bit because he knew, you know, he's over here trying to spray it down and stuff. And man, it ain't gonna come clean, okay? But man, this is the cleanest she's probably been since a couple years after it was parked. Maybe the chrome shined up a little bit. It looks good with some new tires on it though. All right, so we got the new tires on the truck, but I still can't drive it when it rains, and boy has it been raining a lot. Now, as you can see, it's finally warm in East Tennessee. Hopefully that's here to stay, so I'm actually not that worried about the heat in this episode. It needs to be addressed. Obviously I need to get it fixed and everything working, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because I have more pressing issues. So we're going to try to take a look at the wipers today and see if maybe it's the wiper motor. So what I'm going to do in this part of the video is we're going to take off this little cover here. There should be some, I think, some Phillips screws that go across in each of these holes. We'll pull that out, pop the hood, look underneath there, and take a look at the motor. I'll show you what the wipers are doing, and also show you something else that happened to me. You know, I mentioned that it's been raining a lot in East Tennessee lately. Well, my window motor also is broken and no longer works, and it actually broke while the window was down while it was raining. I mean, I'm not mad because honestly I expected these things. It's an old truck. As I drive it, things are gonna break, right? So we got the door panel riding shotgun. Let me show you guys what the wipers are doing. Get ready for this. It's really cool. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna turn the knob just one notch. And then they don't go anywhere. That's it. But if I turn the knob again, it's like as I turn the knob, they move. And it's very loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And I mean, that's the motor making that sound. As you can see, it's working when it's turned all the way up. But something ain't right. So I'm gonna see if we pull that motor, and maybe we can get it replaced. They look like they're about 70 bucks from AutoZone. So hopefully the rain holds off. It's looking kind of crazy. It's real windy, so there might be a lot of music overlaid on top so you guys don't hear the wind. Let's try to get to work. So we're gonna take a flathead and pry out on this to try to get the entire wiper off. It looks like you need to hold it up, pry that out, and then pull on it, and that'll take it off of this arm that's holding it on. So let's see how difficult this is gonna be. Oh, that slid right up. Okay. Wonder if it needs to go further than that. So we should be able to hold that out and then wiggle this whole wiper off. There we go. So a little bit of leverage with the flathead did help. I'm not gonna bore you with the second one. It's the exact same thing. Now that we got the wipers off, we're just gonna take Phillips head, as I said, remove the screws. There's 5 of them on this cover here. So we're gonna get those out so we can hopefully get to the motor a little bit easier. And don't worry, I told you guys I'm about 120 pounds soaking wet, so I'm not gonna dent this hood by climbing around on it. What you should be more worried about is this thunderstorm that's rolling in behind me. Aha, so there are some extra screws. Some of you are probably thinking, oh no, he's not gonna know. So there's a screw there in that corner. Does this actually? No, that's just holding this kind of bracket here, it looks like. So I stand corrected. You actually do want to take out the screws that go across this little piece that's holding that line. The good news is they're all the same size. So it's really not that big of a deal. I just pulled them all out. And then hopefully we can tug. We'll find somewhere. There's a couple little clips that go through, but mine was actually broke off where it's so old, so I didn't really have to do anything with that. Let's tug on it. Oh yeah, much easier. You can see the separation here from the window. Let's go pull on the other side. As I said, sometimes it's kind of fun to just wing it. As long as I don't think I'm gonna break something, I'd rather just wing it. I'm a little worried about the antenna because that's gonna be attached, right? We might even just go ahead and remove this. Man, this thing, I wonder if I can get a replacement one of these. Look at this thing. It's literally crumbling as I'm pulling it out. Jeez. I'm guessing I can get a new one of those. That lets us see a little bit better. Might be time for me to crawl up in here again. That's also attached, it looks like. How badly do we need up in there though? We probably better just take the whole thing out. Now, would you believe that in all of my 6 months of working on cars that I've never had to remove an antenna? So we're gonna see if we can figure it out today. I think, there we go. This is an exciting video for you guys, getting thrown all over the place. So we just unscrewed it, of course, and then popped that little plate off with a flathead. To reveal, it looks like 4 Phillips head screws. We'll take those out, and then hopefully we can detach it somehow, so then that way this can separate, and then it should just come right out of there. And those 4 screws are different, so just keep that in mind. Then that just pops right out of there, and it looks like, what do you know, that should give us what we need to be able to move this enough to get to that wiper motor and take a closer look at that thing. All right, so I'm trying to be really careful and not scratch up the window. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what you're supposed to do with the antenna, because that sucker runs all the way down through here. And I'm guessing maybe you can disconnect it here somehow, but I mean, I was able to fold it up and turn it down to the side, and it works. Okay, it's not perfect. Like I said, this is not necessarily a tutorial. Learn from my mistakes. That's what I say in most of my videos. I'm starting to wonder if it might have actually been easier. I'm starting to wonder if it might have been easier to just take the stinking hood off, because then that way it would be lifted all the way up out of the way. I could have removed that and it would have been a lot clearer, but I'm here by myself, so lifting this hood off doesn't seem like an easy task. So let's climb up in here a little bit. I think there's one more piece that I'm gonna want to take off, probably this cover as well. Looks like it's just a couple screws, one there, two in the top, and then this little cover covering up the motor should come off, and then we can actually unhook these connections. It looks like down, I'm actually going to slide you guys down in here so you can see. There is an 8mm nut that's on the end of this thing right here. Looks like where it comes through and the motor actually attaches. There's actually plenty of room to get down in here, I think, so we're going to unattach that first, and then there is 3 10mm bolts on the outside, so the 3 there. So theoretically we unattach it in there, take those 3 out, and then the motor should come out. So I think what we may do is have to just take a hammer and a flathead, or a hammer and a chisel, and just knock this off. So you can see this is where we actually pulled off that 8mm nut that went in here, but it's just rusted and stuck inside. So we just tap this a little bit and then it should just pop right out. I'm just kidding. We might need it to verify the part at the parts store, but that is what it took. Let me bring it over there and show you. That was kind of tough to get out of there, so don't let it freak you out. It just takes some persuasion. I took that flathead and just hammered it, because this was basically just rusted and stuck on the connection in there. So I just took that flathead, lined it up in there, and just hit it with the hammer until it popped the motor out. So let's go to the parts store and pray that they give us the right one. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is we got our new wiper motor, and I went ahead and got the window motor, so we can take care of that at some point as well. The bad news is I didn't tell you guys how far away I live from the parts store, plus the people at the parts store where I live need a lot of hand holding, and I don't even know a whole lot about cars, so it's a really interesting situation. So it's nighttime now. But we've got some big bad lights. Man, I'm gonna try to show that on camera. Hopefully it doesn't blind you guys. But some of the best working on car projects happen in the middle of the night, in my opinion. You know, with bugs, mosquitoes and whatnot, moths just swarming all around your face. It's good times, right? So anyways, I'm glad that I did not chunk this. I know I was just joking about it earlier, but looking at the new one, I actually thought it was the wrong part at first. You have to actually transfer the bracket over. So it's nothing complicated, but it looks like there are 3 little bolts in here. We'll transfer them over to this, and then that'll have that transferred over to the new one. And then it'll just be go in reverse everything we just did. And on this frame, this takes a 5/16, and you're probably going to want to use the slightly bigger one, because these bad boys are pretty difficult to get off, at least for me. I mean, maybe you have bigger muscles than me, so it's not a problem. All right, now that we got the little nut in place, that's attached to the wipers, we're gonna turn this, get it lined up properly, swap back to the 10 on the socket, see if we can get situated here, and we are gonna screw this bad boy into place. And one thing that I want to make sure I do not miss is the little hose right here that comes up. There's just one of them, it looks like, that connects in on the driver's side, and then the line is actually already ran in place on the plate that we lifted up here. So we'll get the cover back on over the motor, the plastic shield over the top, and then we'll get that top plate reset back up here, get everything screwed in place, get our other bracket up across the top, reattach this up there, and put the wipers on and cross our fingers. All right, guys, so here's the moment of truth. I didn't bore you with showing putting the wiper arms back on. If you are watching this for tutorial purposes, there are really good tutorials out there. As I said, this is more of a just following what I do to this F-150, and you can learn from some of my mistakes. So maybe you don't struggle as much as if you do have to do it. All you want to do is make sure that those little release clips are still up, and then you just push the arm back onto it. And then I had to take a little hammer with mine because they're real tight, and just push those, hit those release clips back in, and it's good and sturdy. So it's the moment of truth. Let's do the test. Here we go. I get nervous every time I do a repair on this thing because it's just so old. So here we go. Go to low. Yes! You have no idea how happy this makes me. I literally want to scream. However, it's a little past midnight on a Monday night. I do have neighbors. They probably wouldn't appreciate that. I love it. Doing these repairs on my own makes me feel so accomplished, especially when I don't watch a tutorial video before I do it. We just dive in and we figure it out. I hope that this helps somebody. So we got the new tires on the truck. We fixed the wiper situation. I'm not worried about the heat, but we are gonna try to fix the window motor as well on the driver's side, since I can't roll my window up or down anymore. The only thing I'm wondering though, is that a normal amount of sound? But I'm gonna put you guys up close to it. Maybe I'm just used to newer vehicles. Like that sounds loud. I mean, as long as they work, I'm gonna be honest, I really kind of don't care. That's a new motor. They work right now. I don't have to treat the truck like a motorcycle. I can go out and drive it and haul stuff, because I've been needing to haul things because we're gonna be moving soon.